This is the video for Lockdown Knowledge Boost Higher 2. Let's see if I can get through this without any mistakes. I'll read the question properly this time, I think. The mistake I made last time, I used the diameter as the radius. So this time my radius is 30 centimeters. A hemisphere is half a sphere, so volume is half of the volume for the formula of a sphere. Write down the radius instead of the diameter. Type that into my calculator. Half of 4/3 times by pi times by 30 cubed. I'm in centimeters, so it's going to be centimeters cubed. And since it's a calculator question, it hasn't asked for it in terms of pi. I'm going to give it to 2dp. Okay. Diagram shows points D, E, F and G. D, E, F, G is a kite. The fact that D, E, F and G is a kite means, well, there's a few things to think about here. EG is a diameter. A triangle on a diameter is always a right angled triangle. So I can draw these in. EG as a kite means that these two triangles are similar, congruent in fact, so that is 65 degrees. In a cyclic quadrilateral, a quadrilateral with all 4 points on the circle, opposite angles add to 180. Clearly 90 add 90 is 180. 130 add the whole angle opposite is 180, so this must be 50. And x is half of the 50 because my two triangles are similar because DEFG is a kite. So x is half of 50, 25 degrees. Let's put the answer in for question 1 here. It's okay with a circle theorem question that you're working out is on the diagram quite often. If you're asked to give reasons, you give reasons. Otherwise, writing on the diagram is a completely acceptable way of showing your working out. Question 3. I'm given two corresponding sides, so I can work out the linear scale factor, 24/8. That's 3. That means that the area scale factor is the square of that, and since I'm given the small area and I want the big area, I'm going to do 25 times by 9. I don't want to make any mistakes, so let me check on my calculator. 225, and the area is centimeters squared. Oh, I've just realised that's not what the question asked. It wants the volume. Okay. The volume scale factor is the cube of the linear scale factor, so it's 27. So I need the volume of A, well that's just the area of one end times by the length, 250, and the volume of B will be my 250 multiplied by 27, 250 times by 27, 6750, and we're talking centimeters cubed. I'm glad I read that properly. So actually, didn't need. Yeah, I did need that. Yeah, didn't need that bit, did I? I didn't need the area scale factor. I needed the volume scale factor. Goodness, that seemed like hard work, and it shouldn't have been. The arc length of the sector has been given. The radius is also given. Give your answers to 1 decimal place. Since I know the radius, that means I know the circumference. So for question 4, the radius is 7 centimeters. The circumference is 2 pi r, so it's 14 pi. And the arc length is 41. So the proportion that 41 is out of 14 pi That's the same as the proportion that my angle is out of a full turn. So 41 out of 14 pi, the small part that I'm given out of the whole circle, it's the same for the angles, the small part out of the whole circle. So I need to solve this equation, and to do this I'm going to multiply both sides by 360. So theta is 360 times by 41 over 14 pi. 360 times by 41 divided by 14 pi. 335, give your answer to one decimal place, 335.6 degrees to 1 dp, as asked. Number 5, right angle triangle, there's an angle involved, must be trigonometry. I'm given 25 degrees, I want x, and I'm given this side. X is my hypotenuse, this side is my opposite, the 3 is my adjacent. So involved in this question, H and A, SOHCAHTOA tells me it's a cosine question. Now the cosine of an angle equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cosine of 25 equals 3 over x. I want x on its own. And to do that, I'm going to multiply 3 by x. And then I'm going to divide by cos 25. Type that into my calculator. Three over cos 25. That gives me 3.31 centimetres to 2 dp.
Are you talking to yourself there?
I'm recording. You've just gone onto my video.
Right,
so
okay.
Year 11s are going to hear you on YouTube.
Yeah.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Number 6. This looks like another trigonometry question, but there's no right angles involved. So it's going to be a sine rule or a cosine rule question. 26 there. 77. That's 10. 40. And x. I think that's everything. Well, I can work out this angle, so I will. Remember, writing on the diagram is absolutely fine to show you working out. 180 minus 26 minus 77 leaves me 77. Oh, that's a nice isosceles triangle. That's interesting. So I can do that angle there. That's 103. 103. It wants this side here. I haven't got enough information to solve this little triangle yet, but if I find this side, if I find DB, I can use the sine rule here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to find DB in the small triangle. So let's call that L. In triangle BDC, I'm going to use the sine rule. 10 over sine 26 equals L over sine 77. Multiply both sides by sine 77, I get sine 77 times by 10 over sine 26 equals L. It's going to give me some number. Sine 77 times 10 over sine 26. 22.23. I'm going to leave that in my calculator. I'm going to use the answer function for my calculator, because now I can say in triangle ABD, x over sine 103 equals L over sine 40, and for L on my calculator I'm going to use my answer button because that's the last thing that's on my calculator. Multiply both sides by sine 103. So on the calculator, sine 103 times by answer over sine 40, 33 point, I'll give it to 2 decimal places, 33.69 centimetres. That was a long question. Solve one triangle, use it to solve the other triangle. That's page. Number 7. Right, well, the range of the cards is 6. That means 5 to the top must be a range of 6. The top must be 11. The median is 7. The mean is 8. So if the mean is 8, if I know the mean, I know the total. 8 lots of 5 is 40. 40, take away 5, take away 7, take away 11. Tells me what the last two add up to. 40 take away 5, take away 11 is 24. Sorry, 40 take, oh, I didn't put me 7 in. Nearly made another mistake there. 40 minus 5 minus 7 minus 11 is 17. That's better. Those numbers work a bit better, don't they? So two numbers which add to 17 but need to fit into here. 5 and 12 won't work. 6 and 11 will work, won't they? Put in 6 and 11. Because remember, the numbers have to be in order. Number 8. Yeah, wordy ones here. Compare the distributions. We compare two things. We compare the medians. So 7b's median is higher than 7a's median. So we write that. The median for 7b, which is 28, is higher than that for 7a, which is 20. And we have to say a which means. Which means the average score for 7b is higher than that for 7a. And we have to compare the interquartile ranges. Remember, we don't use the ranges because the outliers make a difference. So the interquartile range, well, that's going from 15 up to 24. So the interquartile range is 9. This is going from, oh, that's that, 24 to 33. So the interquartile range is also 9. So the interquartile range is the same for 7a and 7b. It's 9, which means the spread of data or the consistency is the same, which means the distributions are equally consistent. Or I could say the data was equally spread out. Okay. Remember, with a histogram, the area is the frequency. This is 20 wide and 2.5 high. 20 times 2.5 is 50. This is 20 wide and 4 high. 20 times 4 is 80. This is 20 wide and 3 high. 20 times 3 is 60. 20 wide and 2.5 high, same as the first one. 20 times 2.5, so there's 50 people in that box. And this is 40 wide and 0.4, 16. I'm just going to check that. Good. So, how many people live in the village? Well, there's 50, add 80, add 60, add 50, add 16, 256. Now, I'm going to leave that for my working out. It's fine to put that on the diagram, but I'm going to also show that I've added them together, even though I've done it on the calculator. 2, 5, 6. So there's part A. Start again. It's the total. Well, if I had a frequency table, I'd do the total, wouldn't I? I'd do age times frequency. I'm going to assume that for each group, I'm looking at the midpoint. 15, 25, 45, 10, 30, 50, 70, and 100. So I'm going to say there's 50 people with an age of 10. I'm going to say there's 80 people with an age of 30. I'm going to say there's 60 people with an age of 50, 70 people with an age of, no, sorry, 50 people with an age of 70, 16 people with an age of 100. $2,400, 3,000, 3,500, 1,600. Add them all up, divide by how many there are. 500, add 2,400, add 3,000, add 3,500, add 1,600. So it adds to 11,000. So the mean is 11,000 divided by, there are 256 people. 42.97 to 2dp. I'm leaving it like that. Don't need to round it to the nearest one or anything. Goodness. Right, number 10. Read the question properly, Michael. The probability that Megan passes the test is 0.8. Okay, let's put 0.8 on there. The probability that Rosie fails the test is 0.3. That means this must be 0.2, Megan passing, and Rosie failing 0.3, which means this must be 0.7 and this must be 0.7. So remember, every time I go along and I encounter a probability, I multiply. So, part A, copy and complete, done. Part B, find the probability that both women pass. I'm going up here, so I'm going to go 0.8 times 0.7. So, part B, the probability of pass is 0.8 times by 0.7. I'm pretty sure I can do that in my head. Part C, find the probability that Megan fails and Rosie passes. So Megan failing and Rosie passing, 0.2 times 0.7 equals 0.2 times 0.7, 0.14. Find the probability that at least one woman passes. I could do either pass, 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 fail, fail, pass, and add those together. But I'm going to go a different way. Probability at least one pass. Well, that means everything but two fails. Everything but two fails. So 1 minus 0.2 times 0.3. Oops. 1 minus 0.2 times 0.3 is 0.94. Okay, we are there. Made a bit of a hash of one of the questions, but we're good. See you next time.